We are live for the post-game recap. What is up? What is going on, everybody? This is your time, so come on in. I've got nothing. I am out of carrots and sticks for the team, so come on in and you all chat about the team, chat away, tell me your frustrations. I guess therapy session, you could call this. Hopefully this is up now on YouTube. Let me double check and make sure this is functioning properly. Hope you're all having a good night. But like I said, this stream's for you guys. So fire away in the comments. If you want to make sure I see a comment, the super chat will guarantee it. Hey, Brandon, Wild Boar, Cool Kid. Yo, what's up, my friends? How are you all doing? I'm assuming it's working because you're in there. Seth says he's sad. I am too. I hit the wrong button there. Bring back the comments. I haven't done a live stream in a while. It's been a while. Boar, my friend. You remember the old streams. How you doing, man? Seth says he's sad. This is sucking really hard. It is. Another J. I can't do it anymore either, man, Sean. I feel you. Just this is for you guys. Just bring it in. I will try to respond to all these. Like I said, super chat will guarantee it. I'm not telling you guys you have to leave super chats, but the comments are already coming in fast. Let's react. Try to go one by one. Ready, Set, Action Studios. Hope you're doing well, my friend. He says team's done. Season's over. The fact the team continues to play the way they have been. It's pathetic. Yeah, no disagreement there. Karina says, Caldera says, Jay, LOL, I don't think it can last our 2020. I know. I feel, and it's crazy because the team is in a playoff spot today. So we have to, right? Like we can't just abandon it because they're still in the race. Logan Gilbert was really good tonight. It's hard to get in the offense too much against Chris Sale. And then Gabe Spire comes in and just, like 5 pitches in, the game's over. That's what's so frustrating. And Profar hits one up the middle, and then it's a double. How is that a double? Just the way they're shaded, I guess, on that. Olsen gets one off the mound. Both were hit hard. Then Albies, it was just done. And actually, I thought they battled okay for 7 innings there. Leo Rivas was clutch. Like I said, Logan Gilbert was outstanding. Matt Brash got it done. Just frustrating. Mr. Mose is checking in with a $2 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Go Seahawks. Absolutely go Seahawks. Absolutely. We stand the Seahawks here for sure. So it's just frustrating. Reese says we don't deserve a playoff spot. Yeah, can't argue any of this. This stream's for you guys. I'm just kind of out of things to say, and I didn't like that Harry Ford at bat. I don't think that was the right spot for it. One, Ford should have had an at bat in Tampa. I'm not saying he should have started a whole bunch of games or anything like that, but you should have given Harry Ford an at bat in Tampa. Comes in to a really tough spot for Harry Ford for your major league debut, trying to be clutch, right? You want to be the hero in your first at bat. And then you end up with Gino at first base, which I don't think ended up hurting them because Gino bobbled that one, but they got a double play. But just like let Luke Raley take that at bat there if Naylor can't go. It's just kind of little things like that. And I don't think it ended up costing them, but maybe Raley does come through there. That's a really tough spot to give Ford his first at bat. I'm not against him playing. I wouldn't have actually been against him starting, giving Cal another day off or something and have Garver catch or something just to give Cal a little break. But that's a tough, your major league debut, first and third, 2 outs in the 7th inning. Where you grew up playing ball, right, in Georgia. I thought Harry Ford was from England, but I guess he played in Georgia. I'm not sure on all that, but that is a really brutal spot for Dan to give him his first at-bat. In a playoff race, that's tough. I'm not mad that Harry Ford got in a game. That's a brutal spot. And Gabe Spire just has got to be better. He's got to be better. I don't know what else to say there. Spire has got to get through that. It's a perfect pocket for Gabe Spire too. With Profar, Albies, and Olsen. That's a pocket that Gabe Spire is built to pitch in and just gives it up right away. You were actually set up pretty well. Did you hit Chris Sale? No, you didn't do anything against Chris Sale, but you got him out of the game with it tied, or you tied it after he came out. The Braves bullpen, I believe, has been struggling. So you've got to battle the bullpens that you feel like you should win this baseball game. So tough. Ready, Set, Action commentary says Dan Wilson to put Harry Ford in first LB at bat. That's why Dan Wilson needs to be fired at the end of the season. I don't think Dan's going to get fired. I wouldn't be shocked, though, if Dan steps down. I think Dan might just go, I don't want to do this. This is a little too much. I don't think they'll fire Dan, but I could absolutely see a scenario if they miss the playoffs where Dan just goes deuces. I don't want to do this. I wouldn't fight it one way or the other, honestly. I think there's problems that have gone past Dan, but I also think that Dan has not done a very good job overall. I'm a firm players have got to play. I'm even like tonight, right? Like Gabe Spire needs to get that done in the 8th inning. That's not Dan's fault that Gabe didn't get the outs there. But I just, there's been a lot of miscues there and the team's effort, right? That I would put more, on Dan. Why is the team like this? But it's been like this in years past. I don't really get why they just get to these, that they get our hopes so high with these great runs and then they just drop right down. Let's get to some more comments here. That's what I really wanted this to be about. Wild Boar says, I'm still of the mindset that all managers say personally. And that's kind of where I'm at, Wild Boar. Like we've talked about that in the past, that I do kind of feel that way about managers. Like, I don't think it's going to be a magical fix, right? Think of all the managers we've gone through. Mike Hargrove wasn't the answer. Bob Melvin wasn't the answer. McLaren wasn't the answer. Wakamatsu wasn't the answer. Wedge wasn't the answer. McClendon wasn't the answer. I'm not saying those guys were good managers, but eventually players have got to play, and front office and ownership has got to put a better product out there that's beyond a manager's, control, essentially a team that's good enough where it doesn't really matter what a manager does. So I'm kind of with you. I haven't loved Dan, to be honest. I think he's made some mistakes, but also, if Gabe Spire gets that 8th, they might win that ball game. So Cool Kid says, I feel like it's the same thing every year. I'm tired of it. Yep. In the last 3 years, it literally has. Aaron, my friend, what's going on? Yeah, live. Gonna let you guys vent here. This is your time. This is your time to shine, everybody. Let the Mariners have it. Lineup has got to change. I'm over Randy in the leadoffs from Geno Smith MVP. Yeah. I don't know who you put in there. Maybe Julio. I'm not a huge lineup construction guy, but Randy's certainly been scuffling. That's the bottom line. I don't know if it's so much of a batting order thing, but Randy is scuffling right now when you need him to not scuffle a little bit. But Julio leadoff might be worth a look or two for sure. He's been more dialed in, so give him more at bats. Let's see. Fritz says, I'm not disappointed, just bored. Watch football instead tonight in that phase season. And that's what they're doing to the team, right? Like what Fritz said, it's even for me, like I'm not that mad. And that's not a like, oh, I don't have the fight in me or I'm not holding the team accountable. I kind of, did we not see that coming a little bit? You're just waiting for how are they going to lose this one? How is this going to be a loss? I'm just kind of like, Logan Gilbert was really good tonight. Leo Rivas was really good tonight. I'd give I'll tell you what, I'd give more Leo Rivas. I'd give Leo Rivas more starts. He's just one of those gamer players, right? That just, he battles. And if no one else is going to show fight, put Leo Rivas lead off, honestly. Like he works tough at bats. You're about a leadoff guy. Get Leo Rivas some leadoff at bats, honestly. Like who had the best at bats today? Who worked the count the best? Polanco had some good at bats too, but it was Leo. It was Leo. Yeah, Leo Rivas was definitely MVP today. Reese Bees. Zach says, this is the worst case scenario for a season because if we would have lost sooner, we could have sold high on Munoz, Castillo, Polo, and Randy. Yeah, I mean, I mean, you're not wrong, right? If they miss the playoffs, obviously, that's going to be a factor. It's tough, it's because you don't want to do that, and I still want to believe. I still want to see this team get in. I still think they could, and I'm crazy. Yeah, post-game therapy, Baldwin, absolutely. Like, call me crazy, but I still think they could do something in the playoffs. Like, the pitching hasn't been great, but if Logan, Wu, and Kirby can dial it in, and Munoz, Brash, and stuff at the back end, they can be good at run prevention. The offense, has guys that can get it done. Like, I still think it could be a dangerous team, but 73 wins won't do it. They're going to have to win again at some point. And I just feel like I've been saying the same things now. And that's why I want to do the live. And I actually appreciate you guys are helping me too, by the way. So thank you, because we're just all in the same boat here. I'm out of things to say for a recap. Let's see. Karina says Leo Rivas was crucial in their wins in April. He should have been sent down to AAA. Gunny Studios in the house. What is going on, Gunny? Good to see you in here. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to click, but yeah, that would be, I wouldn't mind Rivas batting leadoff. Sorry. I think I just deleted a comment. It's been a while since I've done live. So if I delete your comment, it wasn't on purpose. +8 run differential. Yeah. See, look at that. Gunny live from Singapore coming in. Appreciate it, Gunny. What time is it over there? Watching the Mariners lose at all hours of the night. Going back to the Leo Rivas AAA comment. At the time, I didn't mind it, because Dylan Moore wasn't terrible and Mastroboni plays a little bit more, positions. But looking back, yeah, I mean, we should have just kept Leo Rivas the whole time. Of course, Dylan Moore, has gone on and been good for the Rangers. 10 a.m. Okay, not too bad. Then a little coffee with the Mariners to start the day. That's not terrible. 10 a.m. Saturday. So you got college football in like 12 hours there, Gunny. Wild Boar says, would this collapse be worse than last year's? I mean, not from the standpoint of like the amount of games they were at, but I'm tired of it. You know what I mean? Like, it would just be the magnitude of it being 3 years in a row. I can't keep doing it. Now, unfortunately, I have no say in anything and what happens, and I'll be back here next year. But last year's was probably worse because you can't blow a 10-game lead. And it wasn't a 10-game lead in April. It was like late June. The team should have been good enough to win the division just playing 500 ball. This is just like, can they just get in? I don't know. I think this year would just hurt worse because it's just on top of it. But the 10-game lead is probably worse. And the fact that they did it in like a month, the fact that we were in September last year and we're already giving up, they had a 10-game lead in June. Let's see. TK's got a comment here. It says, now Spires gas. Yep. Need way more pitching at the deadline instead of bats. Should have had to start the season. Yeah. I kind of talked about wanting a little bit more pitching, whether it was some starting pitching depth. I think they were one reliever short. I know they were close on Duran. And I know listen, the Yankees went and got a bunch of relievers. They've all kind of been a mess. Bullpens can be weird, but even from the start of the season, the bullpen has just been a little thin because now you're just running it into right where Spires pitching so much where he's struggling down the stretch, and it's just, and also too, listen, I'm going to say one thing also, like this team just can't catch a break either. I mean, you got Profar diving for balls all over the place. Profar has a base hit up the middle that he gets a double on. Julio stings 105 off the bat. I'm not trying to make excuses, but on top of everything, like this team is just not getting a single thing to like go their way either. It was lined up pretty well for them here, but just frustrating. 51 people in here. Oh, by the way, if you guys can hit the like button, if you're in here, I always forget on live streams, hit the like. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. Yes. Thank you, Gunny. Let's hit the sub button. I'm 41 away from 5,000. Thank you so much. But yeah, if you can all hit that like button, it does get the video out to more people. Jacob asked, not sure if you covered it, but I didn't like Dan talked about it. Yeah, I think that's too tough of a spot for your major league debut. I was excited for it because I'm like, oh, come on, Harry, like come through in your big league debut. But that's too tough of a spot there. He would have been better served like having Ford. He should have had a couple at-bats in Tampa. The games were blowouts. Give him a couple at-bats. That's too tough of a spot. Then you have to put Gino at first base, which the error didn't end up killing him because they got the double play. But I did not like that at-bat for Harry Ford. I'm not saying Rayleigh would have come through, but I think if Naylor cannot play at all, then you have to just let Rayleigh take that at-bat there. Big Country says getting Ferguson saw a move. Yeah, and it's unfortunate. Sometimes bullpen guys they pitch in such a small sample that they can just lose it for a couple weeks and you're screwed. Ferguson's probably only pitched like 4 bad innings, but when you're a reliever, 4 innings are all you got sometimes. So it's just been a big blow. They needed him to come and really be that second lefty. They added, who's the guy they added from the Mets that's on the roster now? Castillo? I don't even know the names now. Saucedo went down. They brought up another lefty that has done a pretty good job with the Mets and D-backs this year. So we'll see how he does. Sorry, let's get to this comment. It's going so fast and slow. Bear with me, guys. Duncan asked how much this loss falls on Dan Wilson. Naylor has good numbers left on left, yet he's not playing. I'm assuming he's hurt. I mean, if Naylor can't take that at bat, I'm assuming, Duncan, that he's hurt. I hate that. I'm kind of like, dude, can you take the at bat, my guy? How bad is it? But if he's hurt, he's hurt. So I can't get on Dan for that. I think the best bet there would have just been letting Luke Rayleigh take it. I think it's too tough of a spot to put Harry Ford in. It was exciting. Like, you can be excited about it because, like, hey, come on, kid, let's come through in your big league debut. But yeah, tough spot. But if Naylor can't go, he can't go. So I can't I can't blame Dan for that too much. Gunny, the family is doing great. We are in the middle. You can maybe hear it in the background. We're in the middle of a massive deep cleaning of the house right now. So if you guys hear that in the background, that's what's going on. We're my wife says sorry. We're decluttering from the Mariners. There's Mariners stink in this house. Like we're trying to clean it off. It's just everywhere right now. So we're trying to get over it. Jacob asks, are you rooting for the Astros or Rangers tonight? I have to root for the Astros for the Mariners to get in right now. If the Mariners would have won, I'd be rooting for Texas. But with the Mariners losing, I've got to root for Houston because that's the Mariners' best path to the playoffs. What is the score of that game, by the way? I shouldn't be scoreboard watching. Kansas City's up 2-1. Texas is up 3-1. Not that it matters. Let's see. Reese says, what if you let Cole Young pitch it for probably better than Ford in that spot, but Young's been scuffling too a little bit. So I don't know if there's a great, without Naylor, there's not necessarily a great option there, but you know, it's probably better than Ford. Let's see if I can go back to some comments here. Bor says this team continues to be run like an Adam Sandler movie. Do the little Adam Sandler noises, the ooh, stuff like that. Fred says Royals about to be one game back. Yeah, and then we have to go to Kansas City. That's a house of horrors for the Mariners. The fighting Kyle Isbells. Brandon says, hope the Hawks play well so the Mariners stink goes away. You know what? I think the Hawks are going to win on Sunday. Call me crazy. I also think the Mariners can still get in the playoffs. So you have every right to call me crazy. I think the Hawks are going to run the ball a lot better on Sunday. I think the Niners are vulnerable against the run. I think Seattle's going to win on Sunday. I think it's going to be a surprise. The Niners are banged up. Hawks are pretty healthy. I think Kubiak's going to help with Charbonnet and Walker. I think you're going to see a big running game. I don't think Darnold's going to ball out, but I think you're not going to have those red zone turnovers. I think the Hawks win on Sunday. Got to have some optimism in here, right? Got to have something. Go Hawks, go Kraken. I'm not a Kraken fan, unfortunately, but you know what? Go Kraken. I'm down for it. Definitely go Hawks, though. Half daddy. Appreciate it. Am I going to be commenting on the Hawks games? I will not. I haven't followed it as much this offseason. Maybe I'll do a couple of videos just talking about it if I need to vent something, but probably not any Hawks videos this year. I'm just going to enjoy football. I can't do it. I need somebody else can take. I'll let the guys like Hawk Blogger and Brandon Nelson and Hawks Nest, they can deal with that emotion. I'm taking a few weeks off after baseball season. Aaron, my friend, I hope you are doing well. I think we can absolutely back in the playoffs. Just don't get swept and have a good homestand. And it probably is the truth, right, Aaron, that if you can find a way to win one in Atlanta, and I think they can bounce back at home against the Cardinals and Angels, they'll probably still be in pretty good shape here. It's just frustrating right now in the moment, but I definitely still think there's a chance, right? I don't think it's not zero. But it's just, it feels like it, right? I mean, as Mariner fans, it's hard not to feel that way. Let's see. After says Randy's just a shit on the M's. They have no chance to be underdogs. They seem to play better in that role. I mean, listen, like my heart tells me it's over, right? But if I was an outsider looking in, would I still think they have a chance? Yeah, I'd be going, I don't know why they're playing this poorly, but I would still think they have an opportunity. They don't, like, come on, guys, you got to win a game. I just want to win. Like, it's not even so much for the playoffs. It's just like, I just want to be like, hey, a win. Thank you. Let's talk about this now. I don't know what a win. It's when you score more runs. I haven't seen that in a while. I'm going to mess up the pronounce that. Zwonkus says when the Rangers won the World Series 23, they were in a similar position. Very true. Very true. The Rangers were tail spinning in September in 2023 and then just kind of caught fire at the end. And the good news is the Mariners are in a similar position to that Rangers team where if they can just get like one streak, one like 4 game winning streak, they are kind of like in pretty good shape there. While Bor says, I missed it. I think you just said the point. I said they ripped off a 4 or 5 game in a row. I mean, if they can just, and I know it sounds crazy because right now you can't even imagine what this team winning 4 in a row looks like. But if they like win the next 2 here, come home and win a couple, they're in a really good spot because they're probably going to be 2-3 up on a playoff spot. They don't need to do a ton. That's what's so frustrating, I think, for everybody, myself included. It's not that we've needed this team to go like 15-5, just not 5-15. It's all these road trips. Just be slightly below average, and they're probably a lock. The 2-7 road trip, and then what's this road trip now? 1-6. Make that one 4-5, and make this one 2-5, and you're like 4 games up. We're frustrated about the division with these losses, but they're almost a lock for the playoffs. Arbro says, "Hi, my name is Ryan. I'm Mayor's Attic." That's my favorite comment. I love that one. Hey, if you guys are just coming to the stream, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you're new or lurking to the channel. Comment your thoughts down below. I'm trying to get to as many comments as I can. Super chat would guarantee it. Again, you're not required to give a super chat. I'm not trying to beg for money or anything, but that I will guarantee you see the comments. So if there is something you really want to get out there, trying to get to as many as I can. Man, I'm trying to think what else. Logan was really good. That was good to see after that first inning where I thought for sure it was going to be game over, bases loaded, nobody out. And Logan does a nice job to wiggle out of that and then really settled in, there for sure, and pitched pretty well. That was good to see. Just, frustrating. See my kid screaming in the background, probably playing Fortnite. Ems cannot keep counting on the home run, need to get on base and clear. Yeah, it's been a lot of solo home runs. They've been kind of weird when they score. It's like they do it in weird pockets. They don't kind of stay consistent with things. Bob Bohr says nothing Dan Wilson can do in a lineup scores 1 run. Yeah, I mean, that's why there's not much I can put on Dan in this game. I didn't love the Harry Ford pinch hit, but not like Luke Raley was guaranteed to get a hit there either. So, and Spire was the right call in that inning. It just didn't work out. And that's on Spire. He's got to be better there. I'm a Mariners addict, and today, well, welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. It's okay. I'm here for you. They're dead last with runners in scoring position. Thanks for the Pond 5 for you. It's getting tough to be Mariners team. Thanks, Brady. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's been a big thing all year, and I thought that would kind of regulate itself a little bit. The way they've been hitting with runners in scoring position, it just hasn't really. They've continued to be poor at it. And why? Why are they so bad at it? They have good hitters. I mean, maybe it is something here where they're just not dialed in correctly. I don't know. I try not to get into the mental side of the game because I'm not in the players' heads. It's even like some of the body language. I mean, did you see JP after Matt Olson's grounder went off the mound for a base hit? He just kind of threw his arms in the air like, yep, that figures, which I get the frustration. I did the same thing. But, man, you got to stay focused and dialed in. And I do wonder sometimes if this team just, I don't know, doesn't – I think they want it. I don't think it's a question of heart desire, but I do think sometimes they spiral a little bit, which is why we spiral. Jack says, how about the cool story of Cal mowing his family's lawn yesterday? I didn't listen to it because I did a member stream, but that's really cool. Cal's family seems just super, super down to earth. Gunny Studios, getting off, just want to say hello to the family. I will absolutely do that. I hope to see you soon. When you are back in the States, brother. Love you. Take care. And always thanks for joining the streams. Be safe. Stay safe out there. It says, really, Jay, you've been the best Mariners postgame conference. Thank you, man. Thank you guys. Really, really appreciate that, man. You guys have made it. I honestly, without you all, even today, man, the comments, this is fun. I do enjoy doing this, and you guys have made the season. You always make it fun for me. And as disappointing as it is, the comment, they make me laugh. And it's funny. It makes it where I still want to watch baseball, and be involved in it and stuff, because it does get tough during these stretches. So, I really do appreciate every single one of you. The bad half day says the bad bounces on the road. Yeah, they've had a lot of them. I mean, listen, they're not playing good baseball. There is zero doubt. I'm not going to come on here and tell you they're playing well, but man, that 7th inning against the Rays the other day when they tied it, Simpson gets that little blooper that falls in there. Just oh my gosh, can we just catch a break? Not defending the team, but can we just get a bounce our way? So, Aaron, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you all. Thank you. Reese says, I appreciate the post-game therapies. Makes me, when this team wins, we're going to have a blast, man. If this team gets in the playoffs, we're going to have so much fun. They just got to get there for us, man. It's just so frustrating. Let's see, trying to get TK says most everyone else has been full of cope. Thanks, Jay, for keeping it real, but not all negative either. And that's really what I try to do. Thank you, TK. Like I try not to sugarcoat it. Like I don't want it to be sunshine and rainbows, but I also like, they are still in a playoff spot. As psychotic as it will sound, if the season ended tomorrow, they would be in the playoffs. We would be having postseason baseball. So I've still got to keep a little hope alive because this team can get in. They can. They've just got to right the ship a little bit. I believe they're better than Kansas City. I believe they're better than Texas without Simeon, Seager, and Evaldi. Like, they can do this. They absolutely can. But man, come on, guys. Mika has a question, says slightly off topic, but I couldn't find an answer. Does anyone know who Kirby was yelling at yesterday? He looked heated. I'm assuming you mean not yesterday, but the day before. I didn't see him yelling. He definitely looked frustrated. I thought he hit low intentionally on that pitch. I didn't see him yelling, though, to be honest, but I could have missed it. Karina says, win or lose, I always look for. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. I hope you all enjoy them, and it's a lot of fun for me. It really is. Brophy says, I usually turn into Mojo's great. Love Mojo. Two of the nicest guys you'll meet for the post games, but you, Jay, are the best by far. Thank you, man. I really do appreciate all this. Didn't expect it to be a love affair, but thank you guys so much for all the kind words. Really making a Sting loss feel better. Although I'm not even stung. I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever. It happened. Let's see. Bohr says, I was thinking he hit low for the double play. Oh, maybe, a little bit of both. Like, hey, I'll put him on and we'll set up the double play. I think it was definitely intentional. Thank you for all the post games, Reek. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And that's really what it is. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that. And that's really what it's all about. Like, I like doing it because, before I did my YouTube channel, I would kind of watch people's post-game recaps, and it was therapy. I probably should change my channel to Mariners Therapy, especially after losses. It would just help me get over it. I always liked people that were more calm about it, not over the top. There are times for over the top, but there's like some channels I've gone to, and the Mariners will be like 0-1, and people are like on the soapbox freaking out. It's like they're going to lose some games. It happens. And I think it means more then. I try to be level-headed, so when they do lose and they are in these free falls, I hope it means a little bit more when someone like me is frustrated, because I'm not freaking out when they're 9-9 in April. But I mean, hey, listen, go back in April and get a couple wins that would have helped. By the way, if you're just checking in, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Thank you all for all the comments. We'll keep doing this for another 10, 15 minutes or so. Keep the comments coming. I'm talking about George Kirby. It was a quick replay, but he was yelling at someone. I did not see it, unfortunately. Maybe someone in the comments did. I did not see it, though. Cash Warren Radio says, you're killing it, Jay. Always look forward to listening to your recaps. Listen to them all and your best. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. It means a lot, because there are some days it's tough. Like the last couple series, I've just been kind of like, man, like I don't know what to talk about. And I say it all the time in the recaps, but it's not like the team is 20 games under, so I can be like, hey, how's Cole Young doing? Obviously they wouldn't call up like Kate Anderson or Changea right now, but how are those guys doing coming up? Okay, we can look at the prospects. Let's get Harry Ford some at-bats. How's Montez doing in AA? How's Colt Emerson doing? We can talk about those things because they're out of it. So it makes it a little fun, but I don't really care about Harry Ford's development right now. I care about the Mariners winning and getting in. So it's so frustrating because there's nothing else to really focus on. Even like Logan Gilbert was great. That was a nice bounce back start from him. And they absolutely needed it, but they can't afford to lose these games. So I can't even focus on that really. If they were out of it, just talk about Logan Gilbert for 20 minutes here. Yeah, exactly, Aaron. There'd be so many things we could talk about, but right now it's just, and they're still in the playoffs. The craziest thing is, even though the Royals are now a game back, we may not be able to say this for long, but they would be in the playoffs if they ended today. Someone asked thoughts on the Seahawks game. Let's see if I can pull up that comment. Jaquez says thoughts on the Seahawks weekend. I think they're going to win. I think San Francisco's a little beat up. I think there's been some turmoil. Ayuk's hurt. Jennings has had some issues. McCaffrey's questionable now. I think the Niners can be run on big time by the Seahawks running game. I think they're going to win the game on Sunday. Call me crazy. I haven't followed football as much this offseason, but I do think the Seahawks, win it. Jolly Badger says being a Mariners fan is like being with a girl who you hope will stop cheating, but always gets the same result. I actually would equate it to the girl that drags you along, the one that you had the crush on in high school. And, you get the one that would tell you that I use this analogy earlier in the year. The Rockies are the girl that tells you, go away. You're gross. I don't want to have anything to do with you. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you. I can move on. The Mariners, hey, you want to go to a movie this weekend? Yeah, I'll go to a movie. Then you don't hear back for a week. Hey, do you want to go to dinner? Yeah, I'll go to dinner. But then the Mariners friend zone you. The Mariners are the friend zone. The Rockies just tell you to go away. You're gross. The Dodgers are hooking up with you date one, essentially. And then, there's other teams out there. The Chiefs are like, hook up with the Chiefs all day. Hopefully my wife isn't hearing what I'm talking about right now. I should probably keep that on. It's probably not the best thing to talk about. Let's move back to the Mariners here. Jacob says, I feel a Hawks upset on Sunday. I do too. I think they are going to win. I really do. I saw something here from Wild Boar I wanted to get to. He says the team has felt seriously flat since losing to Baltimore. Yeah, they won that 1-0 game. It's funny. They did that in 23. They beat Tampa 1-0 after a great homestand and then just couldn't recover from it. They did it against Baltimore too. They won a game 1-0. And ever since then, they've just looked off. They did have a pretty good homestand against the A's and Padres. I'll give them that. They probably should have swept the A's. And they could have swept the Padres too. Now my worry is are they going to go home and start dropping some games too? So it's just tough. Let's see here. Let's see. Zach got one from Zach. Comfort eating now. Mango. There we go. That sounds good. I'm a big Greek yogurt fan. Comfort eating is huge, by the way, after a tough loss. Listen, I'm not a picky eater person. Like when the Seahawks lose a big game or the Mariners, I'm getting myself a couple Big Macs and French fries. Like I'm comforting myself in sorrow. It's not the best thing for me. But yeah, yeah, definitely. I would agree with that, Mike. They're in the same position they were before the trade deadline. 5 games. The Astros are 5 games up, or who are we talking about? They're in the same position. Ivan says, Jay, you are the best. Much appreciation, bro. Mariners need is a spoon. Ivan, thank you so much for the kind words. Kind of do feel like the Mariners need a little bit. I thought Naylor would be that a little bit more of a like enforcer, someone to just kind of like say enough's enough, essentially. We got a comment here from Quaggle says, man, I just wish they didn't have these skids. I don't mind losing. It's bound to happen. The response has been really tough to watch. Corkle, excuse me. Great point. I'll actually leave that comment up because I think that is spot on. Even tonight, honestly, losing to Chris Sale does not bother me that much. It doesn't. This game didn't hurt me that much. But because you got swept against Tampa, because you lost those brutal games in Cleveland, because the last road trip was terrible, this loss feels worse. This is not the worst loss they've had. Chris Sale pitched really well. Chris Sale is ridiculously good. They actually battled pretty well, and just in the 8th inning, it didn't happen. If this loss was coming off of winning 2 out of 3 in Tampa, I honestly would throw this one away. I 100% this would be a throwaway loss, but unfortunately, they just can't keep doing that. I can't throw them away. But I think you're right. It's just that they spiral, and it's just they can't find it. And hopefully they can find a win. But it's like, I don't have a lot of faith in Bryce Miller tomorrow now on the bump. Doesn't mean he won't come through. He pitched really well in Cleveland. So it's just, it's just tough to see it. TK says Sale also at 92 pitches, not like he was on a short pitch count. Yeah, I thought he would be on a shorter pitch count. I was kind of thinking he'd be done after the 5th at 75 pitches, but they kept him out there and he just kept going. I was a little surprised the Braves pushed him that much, to be perfectly honest. I was a little shocked at that, but listen, the Mariners weren't good against Sale, but there was some contact that was hard. They found a way to get a run off of him, even though it was technically off of Lee, and I can stomach losing to Chris Sale, but when you lose all the other games coming up to this, it just makes it where you have to beat pitchers like this. They're putting themselves in that kind of spot, unfortunately. Half Day says, Jay, the base running. Oh God, the base running's been awful. When was the last time they had a stolen base? They've been caught stealing. They've been picked off like crazy. Oh, the base running has been atrocious. And then they just can't throw anybody out to save their lives either. Even when throws beat players. to the bag. Jolly Badger says Harry Ford's debut was the most brutal way. Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't think that was a good spot to give Harry Ford his first at bat. It was exciting because you're excited for him to have that opportunity, but that was just, not the spot where you want Harry Ford to make his debut. And then without Naylor, you're forced to go with Gino at first base. You just should have had Luke Raley take that at bat. It stinks. I don't know if Raley would have come through either, but there's nothing really you can do. Waldrop is in that. Yeah. And then tomorrow, Waldrop is outstanding. Luckily, Strider has struggled. He pitches Sunday. Yeah. Waldrop's going to be tough tomorrow. And I just don't have a lot of faith in Bryce Miller right now, unfortunately. Aaron says losing to Sale is expected, but exactly. And that's a perfect way to sum it up. It's the 4-game losing streak. I'm not mad they lost to Chris Sale. I'm a little bit mad. I guess they tied it up and had a chance late to win it. That's frustrating. But it's not losing to Sale. It's everything else. And then they don't beat Sale. It's like when you have those other losses, you got to make up for it a little bit. And they're not. But yeah, no, I agree 100%. 14 games over 500 to 5 games over in less than a month. That was last year. Remember they dipped down to like 500 at one point? I mean, it's like, how? How do you dip that much? Ivan says, Jay, Ichiro said, lean into the pressure, not lay down. Yeah. This team seems to struggle under pressure. They press, and maybe they don't. I'm not inside their heads, but how can we think anything else when we look at the last 3 years with this team? They fall into a struggle. I don't know. That's not the right word, but they start struggling and they don't get out of it. So it's hard not to say that they don't feel pressure or get pressed when they're out there or play, or they're pressing when they're out there, I should say. It's hard not to think that. It's hard because it's now 3 years in a row of them doing this. Sinbone says, at this point, yeah, I mean, we're at the point now where all the losses just sting. I mean, unless they can rattle off like 5 or 6 in a row, they're all going to just be pretty brutal. Coracle says we are due for some luck. I just want to see a bit of solid effort. I think a lot of the guys at the bottom of the lineup have some stuff to prove. The top of the lineup was bad again. It's a great point. The bottom of the lineup produced a run. And then the top of the 8th, you have the top of the order up. Now, Julio did sting a line drive. Randy was bad today. Cal was okay. Did have a base hit and a line drive that Profar dove and caught. Of course, Profar's diving all over the place like Griffey Jr. out there. So, that was frustrating. But yeah, bottom of the lineup found a way. Dom finds a way. Leo Rivas finds a way. And the top of the order in that 8th inning against Kinley should have done something. They should have come through. Flick, hope you're doing well, my friend. Long time, no talk. I'm disappointed in the M's play. I feel really bad for the fans who are newer to being an M's fan, another 5 years or so, and they'll be in the same place as old school fans. Nothing new here. Yeah. I mean, it's the same stuff, right? I mean, I guess new fans don't have the heartache that we have. Maybe that's the positive that we can go with. Sean of Humanity says, this team are a bunch of punks. Everyone takes our lunch money and gets right versus us. Mariners come into town and bend over. I mean, it is this team needs a killer instinct. I talk about the 2013 Seahawks all the time. Like if you were a team clinging to life and they came in, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to put the comment up again, but if you were clinging to life, they took that out real quick. That's what teams with killer instincts do, and the Mariners just haven't had that last 3 years. I don't think they're a bad baseball team, but you got to find a way. Aaron, I don't wish, oh man, that 2008 team. Oh, I could talk about that team for days. Brad Wilkerson, Jose Vidro, who babbipped his way to a pretty good 2007, and then they roll with him in 2008. Or how about sticking with Griffey in 2010? Oh, that was brutal. Like just take 2009 and let him ride out in the sunset. Thank you, Flick. Appreciate it. Yep, still hanging in there. I'll never quit this team. That's for sure. I never will. I know you won't either. It's just one of those things. She's saying to be, yeah, absolutely. All right, Duncan says if ends up not making the playoffs, would be super frustrating considering the years some of the players have had. All those games losing by 1 run that you said would come back to bite us. Now, the years Cal has had to not make the playoffs, you'll look up and down. I mean, honestly, it's kind of the pitching this year. I mean, last year was one of the best staffs in baseball, and this year it's bottom in the league. I mean, there's been some good performances, and I think they're capable. But man, the starting pitching, if they were just league average, I think you're pretty much locked in. I don't get, and listen, I'm not saying Jerry and Justin couldn't have done more. I'm not trying to give them a pass, but man, the drop off from the pitching's weird. Pitching's volatile. It's hard to count on it year in, year out. Torque says, if the Rangers snag wild card with all of our DFAs, I know Dylan Moore, Rowdy Tellez, the Rangers are picking up Donovan Solano at some point. Honestly, if Naylor can't play, might as well bring Solano back. JJC Pacific Northwest says, what happens to the roster when they miss the playoffs? I don't know. I don't think Jerry and Justin are going anywhere. I know it's going to disappoint people. I think they're going to stay, and I think you're going to see kind of the same stuff. I do think Jerry will have a little more pressure. I think you'll see a few more creative stuff next offseason. I think he'll get a little bit more creative with trades. I think you may see a couple of these pitchers traded and trying to do some things. I could see Dan stepping down. I just don't know if he's cut out for this. I don't mean that maliciously to Dan, who like Dan or not as a manager, still a grown man doing a job and, trying to do the best he can. But he just may be like, I don't want to do this. It may just be a little too much. He can go back to working with the team occasionally and helping them out and doing stuff like that. So, and get another manager in here. The problem is managers don't really want to work with Jerry. Robles will be back tomorrow. Yes. So a couple people asked that. Victor Robles will be back tomorrow. Astros tie at 3-3. That's good news. So yay. That's what they've done to us. We have to root for the Astros. We are rooting for the Astros. Thanks, Mariners. That's what we've gotten to at this point. Let's see. Coracle says the hitting isn't that bad, but the clutch hitting is felt not great. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's been the problem. They have not come through with runners in scoring position as well. They just haven't come through in any clutch situation really in the past month. I mean, they've done nothing clutch. It has just been, if you can write up, how could this be the most unclutch result possible? The Mariners will do it. I couldn't believe they got the double play after that Geno error in the 7th. I was like, there's no way they're not going to pay for this. I will say that, any mistake the Mariners have made in the last few weeks, man, have they paid for it. They have absolutely paid. They've just not gotten away with anything. Again, if you're just coming in, please like the video, subscribe, comment. If you're new, subscribe. If you can comment and like no matter what. And if you're new, you can comment too. Again, it's not meant to be an excuse. They are playing poor baseball. But man, can they get a break? Profar diving all over the place. Profar's base hit in the 8th. It was just a base hit up the middle. And where's Randy and Julio? They're playing 900 feet at the wall or something and ends up being a double. It's bad baseball. But then on top of it, it's just, how could this go wrong? Matt Olson's base hit that gave him the lead. It was hit hard. It was hit at 106, but a perfect bounce off the mound. If that doesn't hit the mound, is that a double play? You know what I mean? So we'll see. Aaron said the ownership is as cheap as the internet says they are. They'd go cheap before the lockout and cut payroll so much coming off next year. I think that's unlikely. Yeah. I've got my beef with ownership. It's not a group I'm going to defend, but it's also I think they're middle of the pack in payroll. There are teams with lesser budgets that have won more games than the Mariners over the past. Wild Boar says, how do you feel about Randy, Polo, Naylor pending free agency? Isn't Randy have one more year? Isn't Randy next the following year free agency? Polo, I'm not sure. Depends on Ben Williamson's power for me. Not laughing at me in the comments, laughing at my wife. Not at her, with her. I'm laughing with her as my headphone falls out. I'm not laughing at you. Never would. Okay, back to the question. Polo to me would depend on Ben Williamson's development. If the power is real, I might be willing to roll with Ben. And that would kind of determine what you're doing with DH then. Naylor, I would bring back. I just don't trust Luke Raley to be your everyday first baseman. And I think Naylor's struggles are injury related. I think he's a good player. I think he's just a little hurt right now, to be honest. And then Geno, just tough at that age. I don't know. His right-handed hitter in T-Mobile. I don't know. That's another one that's going to depend on Williamson. And then, I'm out to say with Polo too, depends on Luke Raley too. Can zone. What are you doing with those two? And stuff like that. That would be kind of my factor on Polanco. And then price too. What are the Mariners going to be spending, and everything like that? It all factors in. If you're in a Dodger situation, yeah, bring back Polanco and let him do whatever, essentially. Saw a couple comments here. Let me get to them. A says, perfect name, simple to the point. Stein delivered as good as anyone in the space. Thank you so much, man. I truly, truly appreciate that. I'm one of you guys. I'm just a fan. I'm just a fan. Thank you so much. Scully Drew says, I'm ready for average over power at this point. Take a 2 RBI single with 2 outs over a solo shot any day. I think they need more of a mix. I will say that with the lineup. I think they're a little one-dimensional. And when the lineup's good, it can be amazing. I mean, there's some games where it's just like, I remember the game where they roughed up Jonathan Cannon, and my friend Mariner Sir, who's been on the channel a bunch, we were joking like, dude, Cannon had no chance, no shot against this lineup to do anything. But I wouldn't mind like a Stephen Kwan in this lineup, or, Michael Garcia, if you could have traded for him from Kansas City, probably not now because having a big year. Guys like that, I think would be Dalton Varsho, really good defender, and guys like that a little balance. I do think they need a little more balance. I'm all for the home runs. Keep hitting home runs. But it'd be nice when they're not hitting the home runs that they can still kind of come behind and get some base knocks and bring runs in that way. I mean, now this is all easier said than done. I mean, if you can have great power and great average, I mean, you're probably going to win the World Series because you're a perfect lineup. But yeah, I think they just need a little bit more balance on this team. Oh, sorry. I just saw some new comments. I did not get them. Aaron, I know, but you know what? That was for you. I know you're a Varsho guy. So I threw that one in there just for you. But I like Dalton Varsho. I liked him with the D-backs too, but kind of thought that, and it feels like a guy Jerry would like too, to be honest. Definitely need some more higher average hitters. Randy, Julio, and Cal are plenty. Yeah, just about like, honestly, Josh Naylor is kind of that player though. They did go get a Josh Naylor, but unfortunately, I don't know if he's hurt or struggling. Both. He's obviously hurt. He's not playing, but you know what I mean? So, Sour Vanilla, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. I don't know, man. It's just been so frustrating. If I had an answer, I'd be in Seattle working with Dan, Jerry, and Justin right now. My best bet is, it's going to sound cliche, corny. They need to take a deep breath, and they need to just go out there, play a little baseball, which I thought they were actually doing okay today. It sounds corny, but like, deep breath, go out there. They have the talent, dial it in 1 inning at a time. Don't press, take the pitches you need to take. When you get a ball to drive it and just get a W. Just get one. I just need a win. Hopefully that can settle the team down. Hopefully they can go from there and maybe string a couple together. As Lou Brown would say, we've won one in a row. We win one more. That's a winning streak. That's kind of what they need to do, in my opinion. Half Daddy says Gino will go to the Yankees. Very possible. Very possible. Tyler says, who are we rooting for? Astros and Rangers. Had the Mariners won, I'd be rooting for the Rangers. But unfortunately, I mean, as sick as we are, we still want them to make the playoffs. I'm rooting for the Astros because that's going to help your playoff odds more at this point. Just crazy. Bring back Zemo and Rowdy. I mean, it's a shame because they could really use Dylan Moore. Not the Dylan Moore we saw the last couple months, but good Dylan Moore would have actually really been a nice piece to have for this team. That's fair. Not rooting for anyone. I won't fight that one. Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. Listen, all fans of every fan base are welcome here. As long as people, are cordial, I have no problem. I'm a baseball fan. So any fan base is welcome here. It didn't work when he won against Cleveland going into the race. Yeah, it definitely, I thought it might turn them around a little bit, but they do have to just take it one game at a time. And that's more what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not saying one win saves the season, but they just go out and win a ball game tomorrow. Like, you got to kind of throw it away, unfortunately, of what's happened. And you just got to find a way to win one tomorrow. And hopefully that's what catapults them. It might not, but that's really all I can hope for. I did. Correa tied at 3-3. Come on, Astros. Brandon says, do you think the Mariners win tomorrow? Yeah, I think they can. Will they? From your lips to God's ears, I don't know, but I think they can. Yeah. I mean, I think anytime they go out, they can win. I think they're a better team than the Braves. I think the Braves are better than their record. with some of the injuries they face. And now the Rangers have first and third one out, so we'll see what happens there. What was I going to say there? But yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be tough though with Waldrop. That's going to be a tough matchup. What do we think happens with Kyle Tucker? I think he stays. Cubs, probably stays with the Cubs would be my guess, but that's not my area of expertise, to be honest. To be clear with you, Felipe says, "Thanks, nice you were streaming." Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Glad 53 people in here. If you haven't yet, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Just hang out, talk some ball. Another 5-10 minutes here. I think I said that 5-10 minutes ago. Sauer says, Mariners like the range like Mariners, Haggerty, Demo, Rowdy. I'm convinced they're going to pick up Solano. Let's see. Half Daddy says, Jay Stroh's lost another starter. Arrighetti, it's unreal. He's been riddled with injuries. Yeah, and we're losing ground on him. It's very frustrating. Truthfully, we probably should be more mad that they're not going to win the division. It probably should be something we're more upset about. But right now, we're just clinging to such life at the bottom of the playoff race that it's like I can't even focus on the fact that I'm actually angry they didn't catch Houston with all the injuries, to be honest. Yes, I do think, Tyler, that Framber hit Salazar on purpose. I think he was mad. And Framber's a guy that's had a little, lets his emotions get the best of him at times. Need to bring Day Holy, one of my favorites. He wouldn't let the vibes get this poor. Bring back Deho. Kyle Tucker to the Yankees. That's possible too. That's just not I don't know who needs what, to be honest. Like I know some of the Mariners needs, but I'm not dialed into all the other teams right now. In the offseason, I'll get a little bit more into that. Jolly says hitting your own teammate is some the Framber Valdez stuff. Yeah. I talked about some of the Mariners. I'm like, who do we hit? Yeah, I think that's childish. Like it's yeah, I agree with that. Murakami might get posted. I saw that. Don't know much about him, but I did see that there's a good chance he's going to be posted, and I did see that. Boone should be the manager for Seattle. This kind of goes back to, I don't know if Wild Boar's still in here, what he was saying with all managers kind of being the same a little bit. Yankee fans hate Aaron Boone. I don't know. Like, I haven't watched enough to know. I mean, I know he's been ripped for his bullpen stuff, but guys have got to get outs. Even like with Dan, I'm not saying I've loved Dan. I think he's a little in a little over his head. But Gabe Spire was the right call. Like, Gabe's got to get outs there in the 8th inning. There's not much Dan can do there. I think this team needs a little bit more experience at the manager position. But the problem is I don't think Jerry wants to work with someone like that. Jerry's going to want someone that's, a little younger. I think Stephen Vogt, even though he was an experienced manager, would have been a good hire looking back on it. I think that would have been a good hire. I think Vogt is one that, man, if we could have kept him in here, I just think he's a little bit more, I think Vogt's a little bit more like gets it a little bit more. I just think Dan's a little in over his head a little bit. That doesn't mean that this is all on Dan either. Players have got to play, right? Like, did Dan give up the 3 runs in the 8th inning there? No, Gabe Spire did. That's not on Dan. Doesn't mean that Dan's great, but I think sometimes people are like, oh, get rid of the manager. It doesn't just fix everything. It does not just automatically make this team. It's not going to automatically fix everything with this team. Let me see. I saw a comment here. JJC Pacific Northwest says Mariners have lost the second game in 7 straight series. Wow, is that true? That's incredible. Well, they're due. So let's hope the 8th is not the. Let's hope they turn around on the 8th. Aaron says Dan was over his head as a broadcaster. Marriage son. I do. Like, I think Dan. Listen, I think Dan's role is probably good as like an advisor, help with catching, stuff like that. I do think if they don't make the playoffs, I think Dan steps down. I don't think they're going to fire him. I think Dan's just going to go a little too much. Manny Acta probably makes some sense because he's on the staff, does have experience, in terms of that stuff. So I could see Manny Acta actually being the manager next year. I was actually surprised. I actually kind of would be interested in Christopher Negron. Wasn't he managing in Tacoma for a little bit? I think Negron, I don't know. And listen, I don't know any of these guys personally, but when I look at Negron and guys like that, I think they've got a little bit more, I don't know. They seem a little bit more dialed into things. Dan just seems a little bit more, I don't know. And I'm judging the poor guy when they're getting crushed, Jolly Badge says Dave Martinez would be perfect. Yeah, I mean, sure. Baseball is so tough to tell which guys are great and which guys are bad, right? Football, you can kind of tell. Hey, this guy was the defensive coordinator for the number one defense in football. Like, we had a pretty good idea that Mike McDonald was going to help the Seahawks defense with what he did in Baltimore. Now, book's still out. He's going to be a great head coach or not. Baseball, you don't have that. It's not like, ooh, this guy was this team's bench coach and they had really good pitching changes. You just don't have that in baseball. So it's so hard to say who's going to be good and who's not. Martinez may clash with Jerry a little bit because I think he had some issues with the front office in DC as well. Exactly, man. I remember Lou getting ripped and his bullpen stunk. Like I remember even back like when I was 13 going like, what's Lou supposed to do? Mike Hargrove got ripped for it. It was like, he doesn't have all the horses. It's a thankless job. It is a thankless job. Tyler says, do you think Julio was labeled a generational superstar too early? I mean, I always think guys get hyped up too early. But Julio's been really solid. A little bit of a slower start this year, but turned it around pretty quickly. But I think most guys get hyped too early, to be perfectly honest. Steve asked, how long is this franchise going to be content with being mediocre? The fans don't deserve this every year for how much Seattle shows love their sports. Sounders deliver, Seahawks have as well. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know. I wish I had an answer for that, man. I really do, but it is very, very frustrating that it just continues to kind of be the same thing year in, year out. Parker asked, do you think there's something rotten behind the scenes? Every organization I've worked for, you work hard and respect others, and over the long run, you win, have success, etc. M's clapped year after year. I mean, nothing that I've heard, but it wouldn't shock me. I don't think Dan was Jerry's hire. I think that came from ownership. So I think there may be a little bit there with like, how much goes on, but I don't know if it's like turmoil or just some disagreements. I don't know. I honestly don't. I haven't heard of anything or seen anything where guys are going at each other. So I don't think that's necessarily the case. But never know. Yeah, I saw that Astros got out of that, and we're gonna do like 4 or 5 minutes here. We'll get to the hour mark, then I'll take off. Kyle Freeland pitched a 200 versus Padres have kind of done the Padres and Mariners are so similar, I feel like, and the Padres have kind of hit the tailspin as well since they played us. JJC asked, do the players want Dan Wilson fired? I don't know how much they really care. I don't think they dislike Dan. I think Dan's a very likable guy. I think players play hard for him. I mean, not the last couple of weeks, but like, I don't think it's an effort issue. I think just playing crappy. I don't think so. I don't think the players look at it from that perspective, unless they truly just hate a manager. I don't think they look at like the decisions as much like, oh man, like why is Dylan Moore batting? I think they look at it more from a standpoint of like, they're just kind of there to, help the team win and whatnot. So, I don't think so. I don't think they necessarily want Dan fired. I don't think Dan will be fired. I could see something though, where he does just step down. I think it's just a little too much. Brandon says, Dan's too nice. He won't light a fire. I mean, here's the thing. Like, yes, I do kind of agree with that. I don't think like it's so much that it's like everybody should be themselves. Like Pete Carroll was known as a big, kind of a softie, but he was tough when he needed to be in certain situations. Everybody's style can work to an extent in terms of if you're a hard ass or you're more of a, show them the love type manager and play, like that. But you just can't be something you're not. And I don't think Dan's trying to be something he's not. I just think it's a lot. I think managing a baseball game has so many moving parts at once. I think Dan has struggled with some of that. I think like Harry Ford batting in that spot. Again, is Luke Raley going to come through? Probably not, but that's a tough spot to make a kid make his major league debut in. And I think it's just been a little bit too much for him. I don't know if it's his style and the ejection stuff. Listen, I wanted to see a little bit more in his last ejection. I'm not going to lie. It was a little bit like, Dan, could you say a cuss word or something for us? But yeah, I think it can work. It's just, he's got to find his niche and I don't know. Oh, hold on. Tyler says Jay should chew gum like Pete Carroll, get way more views. Got to chomp on the gum. Pete Carroll, easy on players. So yeah. Pete let the refs have it. That's for sure. No doubt about that. No way. Yeah, I don't see that happen. Home runs are, I talked about that a little bit when Cal hit 50. It's like, and I think Cal's, here's another thing with Dan that I'll get on him for. Not utilizing the bench more earlier. Cal's overworked. The guy I thought he should have been off today, to be perfectly honest. I really did. Have Garver catch. I'm not saying like, I get it. For DH. Then Cal gets that half day with the DH, a day off yesterday and a full day off today. Cal is gassed. How many full days off has Cal Raleigh had this year? Now he has DH'd quite a bit. I will say that. But man, I think he's had like 2 or 3 full days off this year. It's just Dan didn't. Thank you, Aaron. I see the comment there. My mouse here. Let me click on it. I think that's something Dan has messed up. So I don't think it's so much like his personality can't work. I think guys do like Dan Wilson. I really do. And they should. I think Dan's a good dude. I think he's a good baseball guy. He probably knows more about baseball than I ever would dream to know about. But managing a baseball team is it's such a long season. I mean, Cal looks tired. He just looks tired. Yeah, I do. Brandon, I agree. Most of them look gassed. And you know why I'd say that? I mean, when was the last time Julio had a day off? When Luke Raley was activated a couple weeks ago, he sat on the bench for 4 days. Why not give Julio a day off there and have Luke Raley play center field? It's just, all those little things. And I'm not saying that's why they're going to miss the playoffs if they do, but they look tired. They look tired. Jolly Badger says, at this point, does anyone else think the home run derby honestly did mess with Cal? I feel like no one has said anything. I don't think the derby messed with him. I think he's just exhausted. Now, the derby and the All-Star game, that's not Dan's fault, and that's not what you were saying, obviously. But, I think he's just exhausted. I really do. The guy is behind the dish working with the pitching staff. He's tired. And that's not like, we got to suck it up a little bit. You got 20 games left. We got to get in, find a way. But, I think Dan has struggled with that. Big Country says Mariners didn't use the bench under service either. I don't remember. I thought Scott was a little bit better with it, but I could be dead wrong on that. I thought Scott did utilize and gave Cal more days off, but I could be dead wrong on that. I don't have it in front of me. Tyler says, Jay, the Astros use their bench, which helps us survive injuries. Players get experience. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not so much like an experience thing for me. But yeah, you've got to play 162 here. Yeah. And Garver's not like an awful backup catcher to have that you can't give Cal a couple more days off. I know it sounds crazy that I'm talking like, oh, the Mariners' problem is they played Cal Raleigh too much. Listen, Cal was also dialed in. So like it's tough, but I do think Dan struggled with that. And Julio too, Randy. I mean, I don't remember the last time Randy was off. JP finally got today off for a little bit. But yeah, Josh, it seems like approaches to hit home runs since the derby. I totally get it. It does feel that way. I just don't know if like the derby actually hurt him or if it's just more of a just gassed in general. But I do get what you're saying. Janky says, officially, I'm never getting hopeful for the Mariners unless we have clinched a playoff spot. Yeah, I need to follow that advice as well. And yet here I am. I'll be right back next year if they're 4 games up going, hey guys, they're 4 up. That's going to be really hard for them to blow the lead. Walmore says Jerry and Justin are just as involved in Dan. Yeah, I agree. I do think they've been a little less this year. Just maybe my thought on it. I do think Dan's had a little bit more because I think he was an ownership hire. But I agree. It's all of them. Firing Dan is not just going to magically fix this. And I will die on that hill. Doesn't mean you shouldn't look in the offseason for someone that can maybe help a little bit. Right now, it's not going to do anything. There's 20 games left. The new manager's not going to have time to rally the troops. It's just going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same lineups because you're not going to change anything. Offseason, maybe get someone in there with a little more experience. Wouldn't hate it. But again, I don't think you're going to get that with Jerry and Justin because they are going to want guys that I think they kind of think they can control a little bit. Astros got caught stealing with 2 outs. Go. Just like, hey, they're just like the Mariners. Can you say go Astros at least one time? I did. I said it earlier. I said I was rooting for them. I am rooting for them to win this game. Aaron says firing Dan now isn't the answer. Doesn't mean he's exactly. And that's all I'm saying. Like, I don't think he's doing well. I just don't think firing him now, it's just going to be Manny Acta. and it's not a lot's going to change. You can't change, game plans and stuff like that at this point of the year. Right now, the players just got to play better, and you hope they get in. Then the offseason, we'll see what they do. So, and it's not all on Dan. Like I said today, although I think Gabe's a little overworked, like he's got to find a way to get it done. So I think we're going to wrap this up here, unless you guys fire your last couple questions at me if you got them here, because we're going to wrap this up. I'm losing my voice. It's been over an hour. Thank you again to everybody for joining. We still have 46 people, in the stream here. So thank you all so much. Sean says no way. Yeah, exactly. He's not going to get fired when they're in the middle of a playoff race. Exactly. No, agreed 100%. That's a fact. That's not going to happen. So I've just seen it brought up by some people, and I'm like, no, they're not going to do it. Thank you, Sean, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Trying to stay. Oh, sorry. I clicked the wrong one there. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. Trying to keep it positive. I still think they can get in. Still think they can. But Jay, they went out at the end of the year and listen, you got the Rockies for 3 towards the end of the year. If they can get home out of this road trip a game ahead, get me home to the Cardinals and Angels 1 game up, they're going to make the playoffs. I will say it right now. If they can get to that point, find a way to win 1, please just win tomorrow. Please win a game. Oh my gosh. I mean, we'll see. Does Seattle get an NBA team? I haven't followed that too much. I hope so. I'm just not an NBA fan anymore, really. So, but it'll be cool. I hope for you guys that they get it done. Oh, here we go. 1,000 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck would be incredible to see. That would be the most fun thing I've ever seen in my life. So I'm going with that. Brandon, thank you so much, man. I really thank you guys so much for the kind words. I'm probably getting tired of me saying that, but thank you all. If you haven't liked the video yet, please do subscribe if you're new. Really enjoyed hanging out with y'all. I don't want to end it. I mean, honestly, I could keep going for like 2-3 hours. I mean, I really could. This is fun. I'm going to do more lives. I'm going to do more post-game lives. These are really therapeutic. I feel like if they win the next 2, it's been painful, but I mean, listen, they were close today. I don't know if that counts for anything, but they were there. maybe it spurs something on to tomorrow. I'm in Arizona. I won't say where in Arizona, but I'm in Arizona, the home of the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals. So and Heat. Up west, Gavin, what's up, my man? Hard to stay positive during these times, but go M's, brother. We need to grab another beer together. Those nice cheap Busch Lights, my friend. Hope you're doing well, Gavin. Need to come on your show again soon. Oh, it's Friday. Are you doing your show tonight? My voice is gone now. They were close in 2 games against the Rays. Yeah, listen, I'm not saying that it's going to mean anything that they're close. I'm trying to cling to something here. Absolutely. Hope you're doing well, Gavin, man. Thanks for coming in. They scored 1 run. Who? The Astros, the Rangers, the Mariners? Yeah, they only scored 1. I mean, the game was close, though. It was 1-1 going to the bottom of the 8th. That's all I'm saying, everybody. Breathe. Everybody breathe. Where's the dog? They were barking a little bit. I think they barked earlier. I know that the live stream is the one where they don't bark. I swear. Oh, it was during my member stream where they were barking. That's where they were barking at. I know they didn't bark during the live stream. I appreciate that call, though. Brophy, thank you. Only 1 game was close against the Rays. What? Oh, was that? Yeah. Oh, yeah, just that middle one. Yeah, you're right. It was only the one. Cleveland was 2 close games. So, I don't know. Listen, I'm just trying. I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping. That's all it is. I'm just hoping because they are still in a playoff spot. And I want to see them. I want to see them get in because I do think if this team gets in, they can make a run. Baseball's weird. Baseball is a weird sport. And, sometimes it's just who's hot at the right time. And if the Mariners, start the playoffs tomorrow, they go to Houston. Houston has been a little up and down. I'm sure Tyler could attest to that in the chat. Like, it's not impossible that they go in there and win a series. Brian Woo's on his game, and Logan's looked a lot better recently. And we'll see. We'll see. Says my anonymous therapy. Absolutely. That's what I'm here for. After tomorrow, they'll be out. It would depend. I don't know if they have the tie. Well, it won't matter the Kansas City tiebreaker because they play each other again. Possible. It's possible they'll be tied. For sure. If Kansas City wins, they're facing Joe Ryan. So hopefully the Twins can can find a way tomorrow to win that game. Even if we don't make a run, I just want to get into the playoffs to have some. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of there too. Like, I just want to talk playoff baseball with y'all. I haven't gotten to do it because my channel, I did do recaps in 22 towards the end, but like, just be fun to talk about a clinching game. Like, that would be so much fun to have, on my streams and stuff like that. Just to have that would be amazing. So, it's just, man, it's just frustrating. Kevin, hope you're doing well, my friend. How much you blame Spire for the loss? Wasn't Texas going to the playoffs? Yeah, exactly. Texas is probably like the prime example of what the Mariners are looking for, a 2023 Rangers. Spire's been good this year, but today, it's kind of on him, right? I mean, the offense too, tough against Chris Sale. Yes, you are correct. Yeah, it's true. If the Rangers win tonight, I forgot that game's still going on. So yes, if the Rangers win today and tomorrow and the Mariners lose, the Rangers would pass the Mariners. That is correct. I was thinking they were a game and a half back. I forgot their game's still going on. Mariners should just reband to the losers with a big L on their cap. Well, maybe. I mean, could happen. Yeah, I don't get much. M's talking Alaska. Yeah, exactly. I just want to see the playoffs. And it's kind of like cool and sad to read those comments. Like not to anybody saying that, but like all we're asking for is the playoffs. Like we're not even talking about World Series runs. We just want to see our team in. Like we don't get it a lot. That's all we want is to have something like that. And they can't even give us that. It's just so black because this fan base is not asking for a lot. It does not take a lot to get us excited. And I don't mean that in negative. I mean, there's a positive. Like this city would embrace this team if they went on a run. Just embrace it. I get more pumped watching football or baseball. Football because it's once a week. Baseball is a little bit more of the marathon versus the sprint. So I get a little more pumped up for football because like if the Mariners beat the Seahawks, if the Seahawks beat the 49ers, I can soak that in for a week. I can bathe in 49ers tears for 6 days and go, haha, we won. Baseball, you got to come right back the next day. Although playoff baseball games, I get very, very pumped up. They will come back home and win 7 in a row. Well, hey, listen, they're good at home. It's not crazy. It's not impossible that they get it turned around. It's not. It's hard to predict it, but it's not impossible. They get Tellez and Moore and watch them make the play. Yeah, we were joking about that earlier, Kevin. I joked they're going to pick up Solano and make a run at it as well. But listen, the Rangers, their run differential's been crazy all season and they've underperformed. Baseball gods kind of evening it out a little bit for them. So yeah, I forgot who said it, but if the Rangers win today and tomorrow, and the Mariners lose, Mariners are out of a playoff spot. I was thinking the Rangers game is over, their game and a half back, but they're still going on and they have a winning run at second. So listen, bottom line, no matter what any other team does, the Mariners have got to start winning baseball games. And I'll end it on that. Like we can scoreboard watch all we want. I'm notorious for this. Isn't a lecture to anybody. We can scoreboard watch this all we want. It won't mean a damn thing if the Mariners don't start turning it around and everything like that. Like they've just, you know what I mean? Like we can be frustrated the Royals and Rangers winning, but the Mariners are losing. If they can start winning some baseball games, they can still get in, but they're not. That's why they're dropping out of this race. You can't control other teams. Texas is red hot. Kansas City's kind of hot. But it's the Mariners. The Mariners have nobody to blame but themselves here. JJC says after 2021 season, Kyle Seagull retired. The Mariners got taken off the radar. Oh, I didn't know that. That's a shame. And they made the playoffs the next season. Something bad has to happen before they can make the playoffs. Let's see what bad could happen to the Mariners. We hopefully nothing too bad, but that's a shame. They got taken off the radio in Portland. I didn't know that. That's a shame. I'm sorry to hear that because that should be where the Mariners are. That's one of their places. Kevin asked, do you think giving up on Moore? No. I mean, I think a good Dylan Moore would have helped this team, but he just wasn't getting it turned around. I mean, they had to do it. Sometimes guys go different places and just get hot. Nothing you can do about it. I mean, and I don't think that's anything Texas coaching staff has done because he's been there like a week. That's just baseball, unfortunately. Yeah, exactly, Brandon. It's all about getting hot at the right time. The Mariners still have that opportunity. Salt Lake getting picked up, getting picked to be the next expansion team. Is that what they're talking about? I haven't heard that. I mean, they got a hockey team. That was my hockey team, was the Coyotes. So real quick on that, then I'll get out of here. But hold on real quick. I'd Kevin, who scares me more, Rangers or Royals? I mean, we've played better against the Rangers, but so from that aspect, I'd say the Royals, but I think the Rangers are the better team. So when I grew up, I didn't have a hockey team. I had a family that lived in Arizona, so I adopted the Coyotes. So that's why I'm just not a Kraken fan. I was always a Yotes fan, but now they're gone. So yes, I did. I did grow up in Washington. So, you live in Salt Lake's gorgeous area. I've been there a few times. Yes, I did grow up in Washington. That says change the scenery. Yep, I agree. I think sometimes guys just need to get out of where they're at, and that'll help. I think that's helped Dylan more. So you get bad things that could happen. Gotcha. Yes, absolutely. Yes, sorry. C20 was the first season Mariners weren't on the radio in Portland. Oh, it's crazy. That's wild. I did not know that. All right, everybody, I'm going to take off. Remember to leave the video a like, comment, subscribe. Well, I guess no reason to comment anymore. I mean, you can still, but I'm going to head out. Have a great night, everybody. Maybe we'll do another one tomorrow. This was a lot of fun. Thank you all for hanging out here. So good to see all. Thanks all the channel members, everybody with the comments. Appreciate it. Love the dialogue back and forth. Truly do appreciate every single one of you. I want you to know that. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, man. Thank you all. We're going to get through this. We're going to do it together. You know what? We're in this together. We're a team. We are a team. So we will get through this. Love y'all. Take care. Thank you again for the kind words, everybody. As always, go Mariners. Peace.